my name is Carly, and here's a third wrap up in like, what, 4 weeks? Whatever. But I cannot believe September is already over. Like, September just went by so quickly. It's ridiculous. And it's already fall, and it is finally starting to feel like fall here. Like, I like it when seasons feel like they're seasons. So we had like a weird like 80-degree weather day a couple days ago, but now it is cold and rainy today and gray, and I've got a comfy sweater on and my dark lip on, and it's fall. It is fall. It is officially October, and so I'm here to do my September wrap up. So for the month of September, I read a total of 4 books. Yeah, let's just get on to it. The first book I read in the month of September was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read this for a readathon I did, so I have a wrap-up of that video where I talk more in depth of this. I will link that down below, and also tell me if you got notifications for that video, because I don't think anybody did. But anyway, I really liked it. It's a retelling of the story of Achilles and his relationship with Patroclus. Patroclus, I think it is how you pronounce the name. And it's just a homosexual kind of retelling of that story, because the story could be, I guess, told in both ways depending on how you wanted to see it. I really liked it. I like mythology, and then I had been watching a lot of videos of people in the Greek islands, and it was just a really beautiful book. And yeah, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars, and I really liked it. The next book I read and finished in the month of September was The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson. This is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I did like it. It follows kind of where about a year later after the events of Mistborn, which is the first book. I was expecting it to be more adventure-esque, but it ended up being really political than I thought it would be. They spent a lot of time kind of dealing with the monarchy and some stuff that was going to happen, and then at the end was really when it got that adventure-esque thing that I was expecting from it. But with that said, I still have the third book. I am still planning on reading the third book, and I'm kind of excited to get to the third book because I accidentally spoiled myself on some stuff, so I'm also sad to get to the third book, but I want to know what happens to cause some of the stuff I found out. So the next book I read and finished was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. While I was reading The Well of Ascension, I could just tell like I was getting to that point of like, as much as I liked reading the fantasy, and I do want to read that kind of hardcore fantasy right now, I could tell I was reaching this point where I was going to be like, I hate this, I'm not having fun reading this, this is just too much for me. So I went to the library and picked up some contemporary reads to kind of give myself a break before I continued on with the third book in the Mistborn trilogy. It was just to kind of clear my head from the fantasy-esque realm of everything. Anyway, this follows Amy and Roger as they make a road trip from California to Connecticut, and it was cute. I mean, I liked it. I think this was like one of her first books, or one of her first few books. I ended up giving it like a 2.75 out of 5 stars. It was cute, but there were some things I had issues with just because I felt like a lot of it was her kind of coming to terms with her dad's death, which is something I can relate to. And for that, I actually thought that was pretty well done. It felt like I could have maybe done a little bit better, more, but just how each stop along the way kind of helped her come to terms and get to a point where she can start having a relationship with her mom again, and where she can like kind of get over some of these fears she has because of her father's death. And so for that, I thought that was done really well, and I really liked it. But also because of that, it spent so much time focusing on that the relationship between Amy and Roger wasn't really, it was done well for like a friendship, but when it came to the romance part, I didn't think that kind of seemed to come out of the blue. And I really ended this book feeling like it could have done with another like 100 or so pages just to kind of fully flesh out the romantic relationship, along with the dealing with the grief of the death of her father's death. But for what it was fun. It was cute. It was a lot more more emotional than some of her newer stuff, but I still enjoyed reading it when I was reading it. And so the last book I read in the month of September was The Invasion of the Terylene by Erica Johansson. I read the first one in August, and I really, really liked it. So then obviously I had to go out and get the second one, which kind of seems funny that I did this, considering I wanted to get some contemporaries to kind of cleanse my palette of fantasy at the moment, but then I went and picked up a fantasy book. I ended up getting this like a 3.5, 3 out of 5 stars. I did like it, and it kind of follows immediately after kind of the Queen of the Terylene, the first book, so I guess a little spoilery talk, but it kind of became more like a dystopian fantasy, if that makes sense, because there's a lot of flashbacks, which when I was going into the series was not what I was expecting from the series, and it kind of isn't really what I wanted to read, if that makes sense. I still enjoyed, I still liked it, and I was able to still get into those kind of flashback-esque, but I was like, I'm more here for the magic fantasy part, not so much this like dystopian part. But I'm still planning on finishing up this trilogy. I feel like because they added in these flashbacks that it took away from character growth and relationship growth in the non-flashbacks parts. Like, so much of this book was flashbacks that there are some things that were happening in the non-flashbacks that didn't really get the growth that I think it needed to get. Not to mention a lot of time. Like, there wasn't a good time progression, so like by the end of the book I was kind of like, oh, but the last time this part was talked about, it was kind of like this thing that's happening now was like weeks away, but apparently it's been weeks. Does that make sense? So again, I feel like maybe this could have been better with maybe 100 or so pages. Already a pretty good book, but just some of this time progression and character growth just wasn't there to what I wanted. And that is it. That was all the books I read in the month of September. To be honest, there wasn't anything that was like a standout. They were all kind of like, I liked them, but I didn't love them kind of books. Except maybe Song of Achilles, because that book was just beautiful. What did you guys read in the month of September? And also, if anyone, school's officially started for me. If there's anyone in school, I hope school is going well for you. I hope that you have a great rest of the year. You get all your homework done, you understand everything, and you're still able to read and have fun, because taking breaks is important for the mental health. But yeah, if you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys again with another video soon. Bye! You don't want to be in here with me? Yeah, let's do everyone. Let's go show everyone you and your lovely face. Quick break. Here's my cat. That one's out of my room, but I figured I'd show her off because she's adorable. Look at her. Oh, camera. All right. Hey, no, no.